Let's talk about security. If it were measured as a country, then cybercrime, which are predicted to inflict damages totaling $6 trillion in 2021, would be the world's third largest economy after the US and China. Now, experts expect global cybercrime costs to reach a mind-blowing $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. Now, hear this. The total global IT spending, not just cybersecurity or security, we're talking about the entirety of the IT spending worldwide, is projected to be less than $5 trillion or less than half of the cybercrime costs over the next 5 years. In this video, I want to discuss the security fundamentals that NetDevOps and network automation experts need to learn and the skills they need to master. If you are thinking about a career in network automation, you have come to the right place. Be right back. Welcome back. I'm going to break this entire conversation into 4 big areas, and those are code, infrastructure, and network security, security technologies and protocols, security threats, and API security. Let's get after them. As a network DevOps, you're not expected to write application code. That's for the developers. Your job is to write the automation code that produces the device configurations. Producing secure software still requires multiple kinds of testing throughout the SDLC, the software development life cycle, including static and dynamic analysis and software composition analysis. As a NetDevOps, you need to ensure that both your automation code as well as the device configurations are safe and secure. For code, be sure to secure your environment variables in your Python code and Ansible playbooks, and ensure that you're applying principles of netconf, network configuration access control module or NACM, and 12-factor app methodology. You need to also implement an off-box way to store and retrieve your passwords and admin login credentials. The last thing you want to do is to store those credentials inside your code. You can use an open source vault from like HashiCorp for safely storing your sensitive data. You can use their APIs to securely retrieve credentials and APIs keys as necessary. In the interest of ensuring Git security, you should make good use of the git ignore file to prevent sensitive data from reaching the repository. Git also allows the use of signed commits. So if you want to up your Git security game, use it. Now let's talk about the configuration and infra security. Infra security is about securing your network software, your network hardware, and servers, whether they are hosted on-premise or in the cloud. It also includes securing access to your infrastructure. You need to apply the principles of least privilege and protect your control and management plane. As I said earlier, your admin or root or any kind of login credentials must never be hard-coded inside your automation code. You should also apply like vendor best practices for securing the infrastructure. Now, network security is yet another area worth looking at. It is about deploying firewalls, IPS, and use sort of proxies to secure network users and network traffic. If you are coming to NetDevOps from a network engineering background, you already know the best practices for secure network design, architecture, and deployment. Now let's talk about security technologies and protocols that are worth knowing for the NetDevOps. Encryption is necessary to communicate securely over the network, right? Encryption uses the concepts of cryptographic keys. They can be symmetrical or asymmetrical. The safest method of encryption uses asymmetrical cryptography, where a pair of keys are used, a public and a private key, right? The mathematics involved is complex, but in essence, you can use the public key to encrypt the data, but need the private key to decrypt it. Now, TLS protocol uses asymmetrical cryptography at the very beginning of a communication session. So to encrypt the conversation, the server and client must agree on a single session key that they both will use to encrypt their packets from that point forward. TLS is just an improved version of the SSL protocol. Now, secure shell or SSH is like SSL in that they both use PKI-based asymmetrical keys, but SSL is designed for secure communications, whereas SSH is designed to execute commands. So if you are a network engineer, you have already used SSH when you needed to log into a network device remotely. Now, as NetDevOps, you must also know how to secure other protocols such as DNS, SNMP, NTP, and the rest. You heard me at the opening talk about that security threats are a big deal because of the associated losses and the costs that are now in trillions. The best place to check out the top threats and vulnerabilities is OWASP's top 10. Currently, the OWASP top 10 includes vulnerabilities such as SQL injection attacks, cross-site scripting, broken access control, insufficient logging and monitoring, etc. There can also be challenges related to teamwork between DevOps and security teams. So security teams struggle, for example, to keep up with the fast-paced DevOps, or the DevOps team neglect security. Look up the DevSecOps model if you want to get the bull by the horn, so to speak, for this area. Finally, you have API security. API security is the protection of the integrity of the APIs, the ones you own and the ones you use. So APIs are one of the most common ways that microservices and containers communicate, just like systems and apps. So today, integration and interconnectivity are more important than ever, and so do the APIs. To restrict API resources to only the users who should be allowed to access them, the user and potentially the application which acts on behalf of the user that needs to be identified. So this is typically achieved by requiring client-side applications to include a token in the API calls that they make to the server, which can then validate that token and get the user information from it. So OAuth is the open standard authorization protocol that describes how a client-side application obtains an access token in the first place. So OWASP top 10 also calls out for rate limiting for APIs to avoid DDoS, for example. Likewise, content input and output validation are also part of OWASP top 10. Let me summarize. As NetDevOps, you are responsible for writing automation code, so ensuring code, configuration, infrastructure, and network security is on your shoulders. You can't be an effective NetDevOps or DevSecOps for that reason without knowing the common security technologies and protocols, vulnerabilities, and threats. Now, because automation coding requires tapping into the network device APIs, the cloud APIs, so ensuring API security is something you co-own with the IT security team. If all that sounds overwhelming, it indeed is. Thank you for watching my videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.